Hello YouTube and welcome to an amount of episodes of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, back here again today for some more Frieren. So I've already recorded Katanagatari this morning, so the levels may be a little bit lower than normal because I've already expended a lot of my YouTube energy already, I guess. But we're going to see if this mass recording thing that I've been doing at the moment is working, right? Because the main barrier to me getting videos out on time isn't me finding time to edit. Finding time to edit is very easy. Finding time to record is very hard. So hopefully me recording mass sessions like this is probably the best way to go forward on my days off. I think that's how this is going to work. Either way, last week we completed the prologue of Frieren Beyond Journey's End, the first four episodes that were seen in tandem by a lot of people. So now I'm finally moving on to, I guess I would say, new content, if you wanted to be that crass about it. I do have the YouTube comments up here, only the 3 comments here today, so it should be done relatively quickly. First comment here by Vincent Lollyman. A thing nobody seems to notice during the flashback where the old team speaks about heaven. Frieren says that the current magic is unable to communicate with souls. In Flem's book, she says her discovery of Oriole will change magic about souls forever. There's a contradiction here. So current magic unable to communicate with souls, true. Flem's discovery in her book, which probably happened a long time ago considering Flem isn't an elf and wouldn't have lived forever. So you'd have to imagine it happened about 1,000 years ago. Her discovery of this will change magic about souls forever. Did this spread? Is this the truth? Is this a lie? I don't know. I think this is the contradiction we're talking to. Like, it didn't change magic forever. It's still hidden. It still didn't apply to magic as we know it today, which implies 2 things: the information didn't spread, or it was fake. One of the 2. I think that's why Frieren does not seem convinced even if she accepts the quest, much like how she did with Hytha. When he talked about spells of immortality and resurrection, she said she did not believe such magic was possible, but she did the translation anyway. I think in both cases, she doesn't accept because she believes the goals laid before her are true, but because it fits her own unrevealed goals, or even her revealed ones in this case. I need to spend more time with humans, I need to treasure these connections more. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's this frivolous immortality resurrection plot from Hytha. It doesn't matter if it's this thing where I'm going to be able to speak to Himmel, which I don't even truly believe in. Either way, it gives me an idea of a journey and lets me spend time with Fern and develop that bond even further. It gives me something to do. So I think it satisfies Frieren's goal right now, even if she's not fully emotionally invested right in this moment. That being said, she seems to have some amount of reverence for Flem and believes that she wouldn't lie to her. I do not know. We will continue to watch and see if this manifests in any other concrete ways. And apparently not a spoiler, just a contradiction. Whatever you say, sure. I hope it isn't a spoiler. Next comment here from Sallow Cunnel? Sure. Why doesn't Frieren know exactly where the big tree is? Quoting myself from the video. I would assume because it was 1,000 years ago and she doesn't remember the exact location because, again, 1,000 years ago. I barely remember what I ate yesterday. True, that's me as well. Sure as hell ain't gonna remember everything about a specific location. My argument is, without all the fucking trees in the way, she did spend a significant portion of time here training. So if she had an inkling that it was just in the house, then she should have tried to look for the house. So, I don't know. But there's a bunch of trees in the way, so it's a moot point. Like, you could see a flat landscape. Like, I could see my fucking backyard or something, right? Or my town. And I know what it looks like. But if there's a fucking bunch of trees in the way and none of the buildings I'm used to, then what the fuck else am I going to do? I only know things relative to the other things I see around me. I don't know. Bit of a weird one, but sure. And last comment here today from Jeff Lou. Flem's book was hidden away for about 1,000 years. Even Frieren was not aware of it until she found it, so no contradiction there. Very similar to this comment, right? So, did not know about the book, so didn't think that it would be hidden in this place that we were training in that time, so wasn't cognizant of the fact that she was even close to where she used to train. Sure. Flem probably saw the future and knew when and where this info was needed. Sure, she seems like a little bit of an omniscient character in that way, and that I'm going to set up something now because I've seen the future. I know that you will feel like this at some point, and then you will need this information. Something will guide you to it. There's a little bit of destiny involved here, I would think. Broad predictions, Redhead Boy. Where's my Redhead Boy? I need Redhead Boy now. That's my first prediction. Other than that, I think the only other character we've seen in the opening is there was like Evil Lady, which I'm imagining is way further on, and there's like Elf Boy. So I don't know about Elf Boy, I don't know about Evil Lady, but that's all I could really say, because the rest of the show is very, again, vignette-y. It'll put you into certain situations that are a little bit more unpredictable and less flow on from the last one as much as you would want them to. So yeah, hard show to predict, but that's also what makes it good. I'm just expecting to be emotionally moved in some way because this show does that kind of stuff to me. Same with last week, that's put me in a position where the episodes have finally downloaded as well, so we can get cracking on those. I'll just do some chill stuff quickly, so if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation, comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord, and yes, we're jumping into episode 5 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End right now. Rightio, I have episode 5 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 30 seconds on this one, so sync up accordingly. Using that subs please version, and I have the whatchamacallit, picture-in-picture in the description below that you can access at your leisure. And yeah, no reason to stand on ceremony. I think we're just going to jump right into this one. Rightio? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's make sure the sub's on too. Yep, good. Okay. Yeah, I remember last week. Oh, I like that. The blending. True. Was there a gap between this to where we would need a large recap? Potentially. They're doing the insane Jujutsu Kaisen thing as well, and like, these aren't the same shots, I don't think. So they're doing a recap but with different shots. No, I remember that one. Yeah. I remember. Nah. I don't believe that right now. I need some kind of inciting incident to prove this to me. Love that face on Himmel. She's really pretty. We need a counter at the end of the series. How many times I've said it. Okay, that's some good content that I don't think we got last week. Yeah. Worth. Even the 1/200th that you've had with Fern so far is pretty good too. Oh. She's really tall though, huh? Well, Frieren's short. Exactly, I'm happy with bringing it up. Okay. Oh, subtitles finally again as well, which means we can go through the opening again. Seemingly the lyrics are very, like, to the point. you wouldn't listen to this song outside of the context of the show and not realize that it wasn't from the show. It reminds me actually a lot of the work that Yoasobi did for Oshinoko as well, where you can't really separate that song from the show it's a part of, right? Or even specifically the tears, yeah. Okay. I hope she'll be able to find it. Yeah, okay. So I gave that a little read there. Phantoms of the Dead. Oh, hello, Fern. Back in the day. Okay. I don't think she's ever been a bad girl. Ugh. That may actually come to fruition with the story content we've had so far. Guess I'll be a bad girl then. Probably you sly dog. That's a better motivation. Look at that. That's cute. It's no way to wake somebody up. Alright. The Will region? We're going to say Will as opposed to Willy, because Willy's a little bit rude. Ooh, is it too scary? Yeah. Don't want missing people about. Hmm. Oh. You should talk to somebody that's seen them. Bro, they're just questing. They walked into a town and got the quest of the town. Oh, so it's interesting we brought up that Haita thing. Okay. Yeah, it's some kind of magic. Oh, scary. It's almost like some Witcher vibes. Okay, I get the feeling we're gonna meet it. Yeah, but it's scary. What do you mean? Whatever you guys say, I can't see them. Ooh, signs of illusion magic. What's that monster called? Einsam. Sounds pretty bad. Okay. I'm liking the animation this episode. Just some nice movement stuff. Okay. But are you going to be able to? Yeah. Hmm. How was you? What? What do you mean? I can't imagine it would. What do you mean you were used to her begging for her life? Yeah. Elaborate? Are you okay? Yeah, it's pretty spooky. Oh, she's cool. Murder. Shoot on sight. Murder. Oh, but the thing at the start. Oh shit. No, it could be real. Okay, that's pretty clever. Hey, had a feeling this might happen too. This time. Well, maybe one person's more important than your master now. Okay. What? How many people do you want to murder? Oh. Okay, now you can see what's happening. That's a very pretty animation too. It almost looked like the frame rate was up on it. Weird. It certainly was. Nisemono, you say? Huh? Oh yeah, right at the... Of course. Well, I mean, that's why this this vignette exists, is because of where they're going, right? They're playing off of that. Alright, what the Rigel Canyon, everybody? Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, book. Who doesn't? Yeah, how are we gonna get it? Solar Dragon? Yeah, Dragon D's. Hmm. Doesn't look like it worked. Time to leg it. Quick! There's a dragon! Ah! If Frieren says it's time to run, it's time to run. No, it's not a broom. It doesn't work like that. No, I don't want to. I don't want to almost die again. Come on. A little bit of empathy. Come on, we've been practicing. There you go. That's good. Oh. Oh, so this is where this comes from. John? Oh shit. We're gonna take fucking John Stark up there to fight the White Walkers. Okay. If you trust him, I trust him. I think this is the long-awaited red-headed boy. Well, that guy in the back looked kind of weird too. Yo. Wait, you're horny. Go to horny jail. Yeah, but we don't need to fight a dragon for it. How so? Okay. Lady? Stark Summer. Whoa. Yeah, okay, he did. True. Where's my hero? Here he is. Oh, he's cool. I feel like there's more to the story, though. Okay, but what's the story? But also it gives us, so if Stark wants to come along, we need to get rid of the dragon. You know? Hmm. Okay. Now let us talk to boy. Hello. Talk to me. Shut up. What the hell's a shadow dragon? It looks serious to me. Okay. He knew that immediately, too. How so? He didn't seem that perturbed about it. Yeah, be our tank. I want a book. I want a book that sees through clothes. Ooh, flashback. Oh, he's cool. Yeah. Well, then our interests align. We can defeat it as like a 3v1 type situation. Certainly. Okay. Well, you kept it still for ages before. Yes. Yeah, okay. We got him, we got him, we got him. I knew there was more to the story. Maybe the dragon saw through your clothes or something. I'm sorry, mummy. I think the dragon sees more in him than he sees in himself. That's what I'm getting out of this. As does Eisen, right? Weird. What are you looking at? Okay. Thoughts? Okay, POV character change. Interesting. I got this from fighting a shadow dragon. No, you didn't. Yeah, he was brave. He was brave initially. Yeah. Yeah, what happened? What's Stark doing? Also, there's a car alarm outside, which is unfortunate. Frieren's like, I'm going to bed. I'm probably going to wake up at like 11:45 tomorrow. Oh. Well, that's contrary to what he did before. He's like me. Oh, shit, with the parents' graves? Depth? Oh, shit. Ah! Seems pretty strong. Okay. Axe seems good. Okay, I think that's what we're getting from that. Yeah, the Eisen reveal there is kind of crazy. I knew we were getting close to the end, so it was like, So these definitely seem like a pair as well. Cool. Cool. That may change what I do. Because I don't think in isolation there's all that much to say about this episode. It's pretty cool. I mean, the first half was like... filler's the wrong word. I actually think it's quite good for what it is, but it's definitely not the next step in the story. This is the next step in the story. Will lead to a status quo change with a new character and blah, 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 blah. So... ED's still really pretty. It had me a little bit bamboozled with Stark's character. I was like, is he going to be like super serious? Because that's not what he looked like to me, character design wise. He looked like, again, a little bit more of that coward archetype. You know, everyone loves a coward that is like a secret badass. Everyone loves that. So, yeah, and again, the connection to Eisen, I'd imagine next episode we're going to solve this and see some more connection to the Eisen stuff. That's what I would imagine. Okay. And yeah, jumping into a little bit of analysis on episode 5. That was episode 5 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. To me, it feels very much like step 1 of more redhead boy story, which is pretty good. I've actually probably noticed a slight step down production-wise, just at a few different things, but again, this shows at such a high level that it probably doesn't even matter that much. I'm actually happy they're conserving budget. It means that they can spend more on the stuff that I think actually matters. I've already skipped ahead to when I think new content starts, which is about 2 minutes in. If you've been on the channel a while, you know one of my absolute pet peeves is these kind of recaps. At least there's some different shots. At least from here on, it goes into some different directions, talking about how that 1/100th of her life, that quest with Himmel, did change her, and Eisen coming to that realization after we see the flashback and kind of using that against her in a way. We even have some scenes of Fern and all the stuff there, Heitha and that. So this, like, everything so far, as well as the stuff with Himmel and the gang, has changed her up to this point. Also, the small moment where she's looking down and reflects on it, pretty good. Fern here pipes up, says, "It's been half of my life too, you know. Half of my life has been alongside you, and it's going to be even more from now on. Going to be best buddies for at least the next 10 years. Let's put it that way." Now, we had lyrics here. I kind of want to do the ED lyrics because kind of already went through the OP ones. I think, like I thought before, they're very, very focused on the story of Frieren, right? They're very much from her point of view and her journey, in so much as it's very similar, artist-wise as well, to the Oshinoko opening, which is intrinsically tied to Oshinoko. So... again, just interesting stuff. Different strokes for different folks. You don't see a, shonen opening have very specific lyrics about the events of the show. You normally see them thematically tie into things, right? It's not exactly Monogatari here, where the characters are going to be singing the opening within the universe as their own character. Just different strokes for different folks with that kind of stuff, I think. Episode 5 is called Phantoms of the Dead. It's interesting that we get the title card here and not where they have been, which is around the middle of the episode. We start here with a pretty touching scene between Heitha and Fern. Essentially, the setup here is that Fern's very smart. So Heitha says something that a lot of old people would say. It's like, if you don't be a good girl, if you're a bad girl, I'll come haunt you in the next life, and that kind of thing. But the thing is, Fern really respects and likes Heitha, right? So it's like, maybe I should be a bad girl if he's going to see me after he dies. And then we had to change that around. Of course, this is all set up for when Heitha's phantom shows up around halfway through the episode. Like, a haunting from Heitha isn't a bad thing in this situation. It's very cute. You're a good girl, Fern, for sure. This is framed as a dream that Fern has whilst on the road to a new village. She gets a very rude awakening here from Frieren as well. I wouldn't like just being awoken by somebody saying a sentence. Normally it's nice to give you a nice touch or something, or say wakey wakey eggs and bakey, or some equivalent would be nice. Hopefully with a breakfast. I just think Frieren's very rude here and she should be punished accordingly. So we're in a small town called Will. We quickly learn that this town, or you shouldn't go through the mountain pass next to this town because there's been sightings of phantoms, essentially. A bunch of people have gone missing that have gone to the mountain pass. There's some kind of creature up there which preys upon people, showing them their, I guess, close family friends that may have passed away, showing them phantoms of them and luring them in, essentially, right? It's a nasty creature. So it's weird. Okay, so I thought a lot of the setup of Frieren as a world, right, was that it was a land of peace. There is still monsters about. There just isn't some huge, like, massive demon king guy that's commanding them all, right? There's not some massive army that's marching on the free lands of middle whatever, right? Like, there's just going to be monsters about because there's still monsters about. We decided to gather some more information on what these ghosts actually look like. To summarize, people saw the ghosts of dead family and acquaintances as they appeared in life, right? And that means that it can't be any kind of reanimation spell, at least based on my cursory D&D knowledge through Baldur's Gate 3. When you reanimate a corpse, they don't look like the same bloke, they don't use the same abilities, they just turn into a zombie, essentially, right? A little bit more generic than that. Yeah, undead are corpses controlled by magic. This is something else. Because of this is the work of a completely different kind of monster, and a nasty one at that, is what we say here. So Frieren here is more than content to just let it go and let it be, right? This is a nasty monster we don't really want to see. I think we could almost imply that... So Frieren had a run-in with this similar monster before, and it showed her mentor, right? It showed her mentor specifically screaming for her life. Weird thing that happened. I don't think we elaborated on that very much. It could imply some things which aren't too great, but we're gonna have to see in time. We're gonna keep it in the old noggin. It may be a setup. I think again we can infer Frieren's hesitance to go face this monster again, that experience may have been somewhat traumatizing. But she has grown from it. Frieren is not one to show a lot of emotion all at once. Fern remarks that, hey, we should actually help the villagers out. You sound like Himmel and the others when you do stuff like this. We bring it back once more. Unlike you, I'm a good girl. Haita said so. Yeah, and then again, just rule of threes, introduce concept, remind concept, payoff concept. Pretty good. Here we are traveling through the mountain pass. I wanted to note some of the animation there, which I think looks quite good, just the movement stuff. The animation nerds will go crazy for it. More evidence of Fern improving her magical abilities. She notices that there's signs of illusion magic around this area. One of our first major clues that something weird may be going on here, or, you know, specifically here. We're on the right track, is my point. This monster is called an Einsam. It's a monster that uses illusions to lure and prey. It's an especially crafty and greedy monster that consumes only humans, thus uses this illusion technique. This is where I was getting a little bit of Witcher vibes, right? Where it's like, okay, we're almost like looking up bestiary stuff and then going out and doing a hit essentially on the beast in question, which is only a compliment, by the way. That's the best part about those games, IMO, all that kind of investigation stuff, at least especially the early ones. Very similar to, I believe it was a couple of episodes ago, where it's just like, oh yeah, if we're mages and now that we've, you know, researched this thing and stuff, if you just shoot it with magic, it's normally pretty fine. But again, we can do it logistically. But can we do it emotionally? That's the question here for Fern. And in the end, she can't really. Here we go. I shot a phantom of my master begging for her life. But I was used to hearing her beg for her life, so it didn't faze me really. What do you mean by that, is my major point here. This is where we go into the spooky forest, and basically the thing that the vignette has been setting up happens. Haita's illusion meets Fern. And again, here's the drama, right? We saw that scene early in the vignette where this has been established. This is something that had been established by them that may happen, right? I'll haunt you, or I'll visit you if you've been a good girl, you've become quite a mage, you've stuck to your studies, you've done very well. Now I can't shoot him, right? I'm unsure. Begins to use her memories of this meeting with Haita, against her. Again, this is also relevant insofar as the overall goal of the plot now, which is actually going and seeing these people that have died. It puts into question how we'll distinguish the real and the fake when we get to such a thing. Interesting. I wonder if this chapter here, this small segment, may hold more meaning than we think as we learn more, I'm guessing, about the overall place of Oriole or whatever, as well as Flam, and learn more about her and what Frieren meant by her line. So Fern's a little bit frozen, Frieren picks up her staff, but is also visited by a different phantom, that being Himmel. Hello, Himmel. Himmel also says, please shoot me, because that's what Himmel would have said, right? She has nothing but pure memories of Himmel. This isn't like trickery or anything. Himmel would only ever help me. It's weird that Himmel has replaced the Master, maybe show this change in priority, this change in person that was important to me as we've progressed. Again, the whole crying at the funeral thing is basically the inciting incident for Frieren's change in her character. Frieren, shoot me? Right, that's what Himmel would say. She shoots the fuck out of him. She absolutely blows up the forest. This also happens to get rid of the fog, shake Fern awake, and allow her to do her job. Yeah, look at this. We've gotten rid of all the cover. We can see behind the illusion. And now the mountain pass is safe again. We've saved the villages, everybody. Well done. The line that ties it all together is, yes, that was a phantom, but now we're on our way to see the real Hytha, right? Let's continue on our journey. Remember our true goal here. We're not going to half-bake this. We have to go to this place if we want the reward. Quickly onwards to the second skit of the episode, and the one that sets up a little bit more stuff. We're now in Rigel Canyon, and we're spying down on a solar dragon protecting a grimoire that we later learned is used to look through clothes. Frieren is a pervert. This is now canon. I wouldn't say Frieren's been a particularly funny show so far. It definitely has its moments of, you know, a little bit of a goof and a little joke here and there. But this was the first, I think, laugh out loud scene, is Frieren's actions as opposed to Fern's when it comes to the dragon. Basically encouraging Fern to shoot the dragon, make sure you don't hit the nest, we gotta go take it out now. The magic just bounces off the dragon's neck, doesn't even do shit. The dragon wakes up, I like how its eye focuses as well. Frieren, that didn't do anything. And this pose here as well, the character acting's really good. Figures, dragons are really tough. Guess we have no choice then, let's run. And then she fucking legs it. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, it's definitely a scary fucking dragon. I love how matter-of-fact she is. It's just very funny, as Fern just had the most traumatic experience of her entire life. I thought I was gonna die. Well, let's head back. Let's do this a couple of more times and see if it's more successful. It's like, nah, this ain't happening. Remember, Frieren, this may be okay for you. Frieren is the type of character to totally lame out a fight like this. There's a fight that's way too high level for her, and she just, goes back and forth pulling aggro, doing, 2 damage at a time. She would be that stubborn, right? She does have all the time in the world. But of course, now she has some level of empathy and chooses to not pursue such a direction with with Fern present. I guess it's growth for Frieren, right? This is what she used to do. Now she has a companion. She needs to be empathetic for their position. Let's try again once we get another companion. That's why we're here anyway. So we're in search of a frontliner. I'm guessing this is our translation for tank. We're 2 mages at the moment, which, can work, but not always the way we want it to. So we learn here that Stark is Eisen's apprentice, and he's in the Regal Canyon, right? That's why we're here. Is he a good warrior? And this is all we get for now. Just a slight, focus and a nod, right? We're really continuing to push this line. As I said earlier, the spell is for seeing through clothes. But the whole vibe behind it, right, which we justify through the weird rock fucking thing that we see later, it made my friends laugh. I want spells that make my friends laugh. I think that's funny, and that gives me joy. So I'm going to continue doing this hobby. It may seem dumb to you, it may seem dumb to Stark, but this is what I do, right? So Stark caught wind of them kind of messing with the dragon and asks some of the townsfolk to direct them his way. So that kind of solves that problem. We're no longer just looking for the bloke, he's found us. We get this backstory here, and we kind of get the inkling that something isn't the way we think it is, right? This guy stood his ground in front of the dragon, and the dragon just flew away. I was thinking that maybe Stark and the dragon were in cahoots some way, maybe? And that was the direction we were going to go, and he was like, yeah, the jig's up, move, or something, right? But no, he's just a coward, he's afraid. But he's not so much of a coward that he would do nothing. He would just be afraid doing something, which I think is a very good kind of coward, right? I hate to go for the most obvious answer here, right? But isn't that the whole vibe behind My Hero Academia? That's the whole thing. My body moved, but my brain didn't want me to move or anything, right? I was afraid, but I jumped in the way. He's a hero. He's a hero to me, I think, anyway. The problem is he may have a little bit of imposter syndrome because of this, even though he's super strong. Like, look at the axe. But maybe the axe also adds to the imposter syndrome, right? Because he's like, the axe is strong, not me. I don't know, this is almost in our Katanagatari areas, right? What is a sword beyond, like, somebody using it? And their intents and that kind of thing, right? Okay, there's some here in our very short meeting with Stark, right? There's definitely something to grasp onto here. I'm definitely seeing this imposter syndrome type story. It helps because we can play it for comedy as well, which we see later on here. I like his serious business face he puts on before seeing these two. I like how he also directs the townsfolk away when he's going to reveal his secret and thinks that it may come up and that kind of thing. A little bit slimy, but we do like that. This anecdote about the scar on his forehead about fighting a shadow dragon is very funny after the fact as well. You've done no such thing. That's Frieren probably even sees through it. That scar's not even that bad. That's what she says, right? Upon hearing the name Frieren as well, he directs them away. So again, knows about Frieren's association with Eisen, right? Probably talked about her a lot. You would think Eisen did. Stark's really putting on a good acting performance here because he was kind of fooling me. Just like, is it really worth it for me to kill this dragon? It's a lot of my time, right? But if I do actually want to follow you, then anyway, I think it's good. This is the scene I was talking about earlier with the dancing rock golem guy. So Stark wants to join them, but obviously needs to defeat the dragon first. So the city itself is safe. I'm imagining Stark has some kind of ties there, even if not just to the people he calls the lady or Bachan. Is that actually grandma, or is that like just old lady that I'm fond of? Here we like throw down the ultimatum. If you can keep the dragon busy for 30 seconds, then I can certainly kill it. This will be kind of the stakes next episode. Do I really have to do that, he asks. And it's like, well, what's going on here? How much experience do you have fighting monsters? 0. 0 da is what he says, and then my mileage varies on this kind of character. I find them very fucking annoying when they're in this mode. Like the wah wah wah, like really loud, very typical of Japanese comedy, where it's very exaggerated and that kind of thing. Like, just chill. Chill. I think you can run this character through the chillometer and it'd be fine. I think the worst example of this is fucking old mate from Demon Slayer. You know the guy, the lightning guy. He's no, no, thank you. Just astoundingly annoying until he's like a secret badass. So I don't know if he has way more of this and less of like being funny and brave and stuff, then I'm less sold. I do like the dragon like chopping the buildings there, and then of course Fern's reaction here is also really good. Yeah, here, this guy's no good, let's find someone else. I'm imagining this is probably going to be the dynamic, right? It's going to be approach situation. This guy says it's scary, don't go in. Fern is unenthused and dotes over Frieren and that kind of thing, right? I imagine that's how dynamic that we're building. But again, heart of gold. I want to see more of the bravery moments here. Frieren is still adamant that he can fight the dragon, goes over, looks at this big crevice in the gorge, I guess, in the mountain, and really understands where that has come from, right? Again, the connection I've made is that that's Eisen's axe. And Eisen's axe is strong. Eisen's axe would do something like this, right? I'm imagining, okay, this is going to be some kind of, again, as I've said, imposter syndrome storyline. It's just the axe, not me, that's strong. Eisen probably feels very similarly, based on his past, which we'll get into. Like, it's going to be the axe is powerful, not me. What am I without my suit? That kind of storyline, right? And then it's what, like, you're brave enough to jump in the way initially, so that shows some element of bravery. All you need to do is back that up, because you do have the firepower to help here. A small moment there we get with Stark, where he holds his ankle, then moves his head up and runs his finger down his scar, right? We see him later on practicing against that gorge. I don't know. I don't know what it's all meant to mean yet. After watching the second episode, I definitely know what it means, and it's pretty cool. Frieren and Fern here have conflicting opinions about Stark. Him being cowardly or kind. Those are the two words we use. He definitely is cowardly, but does not mean he isn't kind as well. Like, again, compare it to your first battle against monsters. How did you go there? Way back in the day. Maybe we'll see it, right? Because I thought we were talking about when we took out the statue guy in episode 3, but it seems like she was way younger than that, so I'm trying to think back on it. Why doesn't the dragon attack the village is another interesting question as well. I'm imagining the dragon knows the value of the axe and knows that it's actually in quite a bit of trouble here with this guy. They hear an explosion in the distance. Frieren knows what it is, but Fern doesn't. She encourages Fern to go have a look. Frieren sits down on the bed, looks up into the moon, and flashes back to this scene we saw previously with Eisen. Is he a good warrior, is the question. He was the only one who ran when monsters attacked his hometown. A coward. Then we see Eisen praying in front of his parents' grave. He's like me. Again, this implies that Eisen, at one point in his life, ran away from something that was attacking his family, and it killed his family, right? It's a pretty insane backstory, right? I found somebody very similar to me in that way in Stark. And this assurance is enough for Frieren to have some element of faith in him because of the faith that she has in Eisen. Again, both characters coming from a very similar base, it's only natural that they would be master and apprentice. He's someone who can fight for another now. And I'm going to trust Eisen on this because he wouldn't have lied to me previous. We see the axe's power here, shooting right up into the sky, and it's revealed that he's been carving this big hole in the mountainside the whole time. Fern sees him training, he turns his head, and then that's the end of the episode, right? Oh, focus on the axe first, don't forget that. Are you alright? Can you hear me trailing along deserted train tracks? Trailing along deserted train tracks. Sure. Yeah, these are the lyrics for the ED, by the way, which we'll just go into now. Crying excessively, wanting you to smile, I hold on to the memories I'd like to keep fresh. There's something I'd like to tell you with words more precious than a goodbye. Okay, that's definitely linking into the Frieren stuff. Unremarkable yet special. That being the words. See things that could have been seen if it weren't for these eyes. Why, they begin to overflow. So, if I were to be born again, I would surely choose this place once more. So if we were to meet again, I would never let you go, I would choose the present. Even if no promises were made, even if I'm lost in days of loneliness, those tears will be alright, dawn will surely break. I'm whispering a lullaby for you to come back home. Yeah, again, this one a little bit more thematic. It's less about the actual events than I think the opening is. A very pretty song. Again, I've praised the arrangement and the visuals of the ED a number of times. And yeah, that's our episode there. I think I'm going to watch another one, as I've been implying, because I think we're going to finish our little mini arc here. And if we don't, then sucked in, we're only doing 2, because I'm not doing 3. But yeah, going to bring that episode up very shortly, episode 6 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Oh, I guess I didn't say much of like my overall thoughts on the episode. Again, transitional. Pretty good, but probably not the best episode thus far. Probably not by a long shot. Didn't really have that big emotional sweeping moment in it yet, which I'm thinking is going to come in this episode while I'm doing them as a tandem, as a twosome, right? I've had a bit of chicken to eat, so I don't know if it's on my face or not. I hope not. Doesn't seem like it is. That's pretty good. Episode is also up here. 24 minutes and 30 seconds on this one, so please sync up accordingly. As I said before, GSK Kun subs, picture in picture. I don't know if I said picture in picture twice, but now I have. And yeah, just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Indeed, I would imagine we are just as we were. Turn it down just a little bit. Indeed. Sure, okay, and then into the opening. So yeah, as I talked about just before as well, bit of imposter syndrome with Old Mate, I think. So he is strong, he is powerful. Is it because of the axe? Is it because of himself? Is he going to have the bravery, the actual feeling within himself to be able to slay that dragon? Also, slaying the dragon, being almost metaphorical as well, for slaying like this part of himself that's holding himself back. The proof of the bravery in a pretty classic fantasy sense. How's this going to... So, Frieren as a show has been very good at not having a singular character be affected by an arc, having each of the characters in the story have something to do. So I'm wondering how Frieren's going to factor into this, and I'm wondering how Fern is going to factor into this. I'd imagine Fern will exist as like the I'm surprised he actually did it type character, and respect him now a little bit more for that. Frieren, again, that'll be matched with the Eisen stuff. Again, the kind of dual story thing we have going on. The hero of the village. When I arrived here. So he isn't from here. Mm-hmm. But why do you continue to train then? Okay. Obligation, almost. I don't think you will. Just don't think that's your kind of character, really. Ooh, that's why I was touching the scar. What'd you say? Oh, he's cool. He beat the fucking kid. He praised you when you weren't around. Okay. Cool. So now we're elaborating on this. The monster's pretty scary for the record. Well, it's like throwing them in the deep end. Well, that looks really cool. Just need that little bit of resolve. Well, you're clearly powerful, right? It's all up here. Oh, that was very well edited too. Okay. Like her hair there. Okay. We'll trust. We're putting trust in the system. Trust the process. He's done a runner. That's no good. I don't want to do that. Great. Oh, our hero is here. This, like that smile from Fern too. Okay. $3 years ain't that long to me. Yeah. No, you haven't been watching the rest of the show. It's kind of a thing. Okay, we've jumped straight into the dragon stuff very quickly. Whoa! Who the fuck are you fighting? I would be scared too. You're fighting like a god. You're fighting like the third last boss in a Dark Souls game. Oh shit, he might be based. He's also got fucking massive forearms. Hello, dragon. It sees the axe, little bro. Yo! Remember what I said about conserving budget? Why did he hit him? Explain. Oh, you afraid of him? Okay. I mean, isn't Frieren meant to be like planning some kind of... Or maybe she tricked him. Maybe she trolled him. Okay, good point. Oh, so this shit's cool as fuck. Some Dragon's Dogma type beat as well. Yeah, he's cool. Okay. We like redheaded guy. Nah. I trolled you. You've already defeated it. You did it. Me too. I don't know where he struck it, but sure. It was definitely animated to a point where he could have killed it, so sure. There you go. I also tricked you. Oh yeah, she loves fucking treasure. I keep forgetting that. Sure. No, you can't do that. There you go, we can do the same thing now. Oh! Yo, I could use some shaved ice. That's the good stuff, too. Nah, it's fun. Oh. Who the fuck is the hero of the South? Oh yeah, remember how the South was all fucked up? Weird. It can be both. All-encompassing journey. Taberu. Well, we gotta find a syrup spell then. I gotta get like an ice shaver or something. What a hero. There you go. See-through boy. You didn't have to destroy him like that. Yeah, that's kind of the goal here, right? Oh, one more bird. No way. Maybe 2 birds relative to Frieren. Not more monsters. Never. This guy's berserk as fuck. Yo. I haven't read Berserk. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Tall man. We haven't been known to cause any trouble. Okay. What did you mean by that? What else did you mean by that? Go shopping? Hmm. Why do they hate each other? I mean, I know you don't like staying still. Yo. That's too long. Oh. How did they make that? Yeah, you've grown. Well, yeah. Also, your master was a dwarf. Hmm. Trying to be. There was also a weird confrontation where he was scared of me. Oh. Okay. One glass of milk, please. Yeah. Because she's. Yes. Because she's been with Frieren the whole time. Who thinks 2 years is nothing. Just wanted to make sure she had a friend here. Yeah, couldn't you guys just do that? Oh. Okay, we're stuck in a dome. That's not good. Sore back. I want to see what Frieren's shopping for. Ooh. Thieves Guild. Is there like a... Are they... like a thing? We're going to say. Let it build. Let it simmer. Okay. Well, because I don't want to be here for 2 years. How so? That doesn't answer my question. Oh yeah, this is like in the opening. He really is Forearm Lord. Yeah, kind of. It only took time to realize that. And you want to do that while he's still alive? Yeah, there you go. Repay the favor. Alright, we like that. What was she hiding? What was that? It was like she was trying to blend in. What are you doing? Who? Yo, the big guy. Ah! What? What? Why is she so disgusted, too? Who the fuck are you? I haven't said he was a good guard. Constant conflict. Okay, we got the pass. Let's go. But you wanted to stay in the shop. Why do we get a parade? I don't know about that. Alright, how do you know Frieren? Spill the beans. No, I wanted to stay. Yeah. Not much for the glory. There you go. It's the sunrise all over again. You enjoy it in so much as the other two enjoy it. Ah, jump scare. And there you go. Okay. Yeah, we disposed of the. Yeah, I'm just wondering if you could structure that better. I'm thinking maybe somehow you just put all of the start content in one episode, and move the first segment of last episode to the start of this episode. What changes there? Oh, Stark's not around, of course. Anyway, episodic structure nerd stuff aside, I'm very happy I stopped where I did. I just thought that there would be more going on there. It was just kind of like, I guess the main thing I didn't predict was the Eisen afraid of him line. So that's why he struck out. Again, there's a bunch of mismatches in communication here between a bunch of different characters, right? The other thing is my voice is getting kind of sore, so we're probably just going to call this here and continue it a little bit later in the week. Again, I'm recording this early because I know I'll be short on time, but I know I'll at least have enough time to record, what, it'll be 50 minutes maybe on this episode? Maybe. Depends if I have that much to say. Fairy tale. So yeah, a little bit of analysis on this episode, basically closer to when I'm going to upload this video. Maybe Thursday or something. Anyway, I'll see you then, thanks. And we're back after a particularly painful day at work. Back here to record a little bit of a relook on episode 6 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Hopefully I don't take any of that energy into this video. We're trying to leave it in the past. So episode 6, very much an episode of two halves. Let me see if I can, that's like dragon death and walk away, and then yeah, very much an episode of two halves. Like, again, a lot of the episodes have been, actually, so it's not very insightful, really. But I just think it's interesting in so much as we do half of Stark's story last episode, episode 5, and then another half here. I'm just wondering if there isn't a way we can manipulate that to be in one episode and just be nice and holistic and cool and stuff. Because I'm just thinking about myself watching weekly, I wouldn't be satisfied with halfway through 5 into 6. Or, you know what I mean? At the end of 5 into 6, you're halfway through that little story. But the story itself, regardless of structure, decent. Again, a lot of my predictions around kind of this imposter syndrome thing related to the axe, not real. It turns out that he's just really strong and he doesn't realize he's really strong. I got half of it in so much as the dragon was scared of him. That's why he didn't attack when he was first brave, like 3 years ago, I believe it was, when he first protected that village. I do like it a little bit more for Eisen. It brings together the Eisen fear storyline a little bit and him kind of almost relapsing in a way. To what he used to be like and how he's progressed beyond that. And again, the heavy implication of the parents and family being involved in something that he may regret in the past. I do think it's nice and wholesome, this kind of stuff. Where are we? A little bit further back. Yeah, here where he's explaining the stories. This is why I want to go on this adventure. This is why I want to get a wriggle on because I want to be able to tell stories to Eisen the same way he told stories to me, because that stuff was important to me. Very, very good sentiment. I think that brings together a lot of the stuff, and you can almost say it's the thematic end to our little Stark introduction thing. This is now his motivation for continuing. What we had was his motivation for staying before, right? And needing to solve that so he can leave. And now we need, okay, well, why is he along with us for this ride? Why does he care that much? Why was he so, not gung-ho, but didn't have a lot of reservations in, coming along with our journey, even though it's going to be 10 years. I do like how it also relates to Fern, right? So Frieren, right? We've seen it a number of times now. She gets a little bit caught up in things, a little bit caught up in her own head, and doesn't really understand other people's needs and all of that, and their timescale and how that affects things. I'm going to say we've seen it like 3 or 4 times so far with Frieren and Fern. And I think Fern's just happy to see another person that she's adventuring with that does want to get a wriggle on sometimes, right? A little bit of a kindred spirit there, I would say. I do remember there was something a little bit, romantic's the wrong word. Maybe this is just them getting buddy-buddy. But I remember I felt something here. Just a little bit. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if it's going to be a thing. It could be a thing. I'd like it to be a thing. But it doesn't need to be a thing. I think that's where I'm going to land on it. But either way, if I don't start here at some point, we'll never get done with this video. So let's jump in here. Let's do a little bit of a rewatch on episode 6. After a very brief scene at the start of the episode, which basically is just like Fern approaching Stark again when he's training, we jump into this, which I believe is a little bit more of a confrontation between Fern and Stark on the issue. So I guess what we found here is that Stark is continuing to train. So despite what he said to Frieren before, and despite his cowardly outward appearance, he can't do nothing. I think that speaks to his nature, right? He's even if the body may be saying one thing, but the heart is saying another, and the heart is saying stay and fight. The heart is saying, this is important, we should do this. And the heart is buoyed by the townspeople, right? The people were, nervous and sad and all these other things when the dragon was around, and now those same people are smiling happily. This was because of me. This was because of my efforts. If that's not fueling continued effort in that way, then I don't know what is. So I guess I'm not entirely wrong. There's a little bit of imposter syndrome here, right? It's like they all think I'm this big hero, but the reality is the dragon could attack at any time and destroy this town and, would be none the wiser. Again, I think Frieren sees through this a little bit. If the dragon attacks this village, will you fight it? I don't want to die, but to the people of this village, I'm a hero. I have to defend it. I think that perfectly spells out what this character is all about. A little bit of conflict between his fear, but again, a little bit of fear is good, as we talk about, and his need to do the right thing. He's got a good conscience. He's a good boy. Another misunderstanding here is he references the scar on his head. It's not actually from me fighting a dragon, but a fight with my master, right? It was the first time he struck me. He must have been so disappointed in me. Well, again, that's not the... It more reflects on Eisen than it does you, actually. In the end, he never praised me, not even once. But again, we the audience know that scene between Frieren and Eisen, right? Eisen continues to have a high opinion of Stark. Another thing, I guess, structurally with Stark that'll be interesting to follow is I think that we could do some stuff very similar to Frieren, where we pan back to flashbacks of Eisen and Stark adventuring, right? Even if they're not in the exact same locations, I think sometimes you can apply an anecdote from a similar thing to what they may be doing. And again, continue to inform the characters through flashback, which has been one of the show's major points. The other thing we see here is Fern looking at the hands. I don't think you'll run. You've practiced a lot. And then applying her own personal journey into that. Again, like I've been saying with this show, they do a great job of everyone gets included. Everyone gets a little bit of something in a story arc. This was talked about briefly in the previous episode. So essentially Frieren did the throw her in the deep end type beat, right? Where, okay, so you've been a mage, you've practiced plenty, you've trained a bunch, you've trained hard. Frieren's seen you've trained hard, right? She knows you're good enough, but wants to see that, right? I'm guessing that Frieren's just around somewhere in case this goes really, really bad. But it doesn't, even though this thing's terrifying, her body, her training kicks in essentially, right? And we're waiting for that similar moment with Stark. The movement here on the character in the flashback's really cool too. Like, look at some of this stuff. Fucking awesome.
Then the turn. Yeah, cool. Cool. Even though you're a hopeless coward, I believe in your resolve is how we end this scene. You'll stand up for the village when you need to. It's a pretty complicated little story, because then we talk about resolve there. He scrunches his fist, and then we see Eisen's fist similarly scrunched with I'm guessing, Stark's blood dripping down. So are we implying that Eisen had the resolve to do that, or was that fear that provoked an attack, right? It's interesting, right? Is that a good thing for a master to be doing? In that way, was Stark Eisen's own dragon in that sense? Interesting. But again, that's probably not something, again, a master should be doing to an apprentice. Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I land on it, but I think it's fascinating regardless. There's a brief meeting there during the night where Fern says that she thinks it's going to go all right, and then comedic, he's not here. Yeah, pretty good comedic segment here overall. After Stark's not around, we have to get Fern to play tag with the dragon again, and does not want to do such a thing, as we saw last episode. Either way, Stark appears, basically says, I've got him for 30 seconds. Are you going to kill him? Yep. Even if I die during the process, will you still kill the dragon? Yep. Why would you go this far for the villagers? And then all the baggage about the villagers and why they're important to Stark. So we approach the dragon. Stark's hands are shaking. This bemuses Frieren, I guess you could say. Feels like a good thing, though, right? Because Eisen felt the exact same way during our adventures. Now, this is just a fucking cool creature design. This is like Dark Souls type shit. I love this. Yeah, Eisen's afraid. His hand's shaking, and he admits it. Being afraid isn't a bad thing. It's my fear that brought me this far. We see the forearm Lord Eisen, and his forearms transforming into Stark's. Yeah, and this is your pretty prototypical payoff to what we've been building up. Again, in pure Frieren style, we've got a beautiful musical accompaniment, and the animation is gorgeous. So they're really building up the kind of reputation of this show here, I guess, and what we can expect from these little mini arcs. I guess this comforts Stark somewhat that his master was afraid during all those journeys that he told him about way back in the day as well. As he enters the dragon's range, and we turn into animation showpiece o'clock. So the dragon doesn't attack straight away. It's being cautious, as we thought. The dragon's just as scared of Stark that Stark is of the dragon. And then there we go. No wonder it stopped attacking the village, because this guy's actually a secret badass. Well, not so secret. And yeah, we're just going to animate the fuck out of it. It looks really good. It's, shonen tier. It's not quite... Don't know if you guys caught Jujutsu Kaisen recently, but they're kind of fucking... They kind of raise the industry a little bit. It's not quite there, but it's in the same ballpark, at least, I would say. Yeah, very, very cool stuff. And yeah, this guy seems like he's going to be an asset going forward during our journey. We get the backstory here from Eisen. We parted in anger, me and Stark. My body moved on reflex. I'm sorry for what I did to him. I was afraid. I was afraid of him, Frieren. I couldn't believe it. My student will become an incredible warrior. And there he goes. He's doing incredible warrior stuff. So, yeah. Again, just perfectly paced. Music pops back in at the right moment. The zoom out from Frieren's face to see the action going on. Again, it's all about a character's reaction to information and thinking back on what she heard before. It's just perfect. It's really, really good. Again, I always like the shit where you can actually count the 30 seconds, but I don't think that's applicable here. Goes on a little bit longer than that, but that's okay if the animation's that good. And in what I would believe is going to be Stark fashion going forward, he unknowingly kills the dragon, right? He was just distracting it, but it turns out he was powerful enough that he just kind of beat it. You can't be serious, you old hag, is a good line as well. Yeah. He killed the dragon without knowing it. He's more powerful than he even knows. After a quick congratulations from Frieren, she's off into the loot pit. As again, very early on, this was established as a character trait, and it continues. They know what they're doing, the writers. It's pretty good. Frieren's normally pretty low key, but it's nice when she sees the loot and she just fucking runs in and goes buck wild. It sees a different side to her personality. It's quite nice. And Fern, always being the adult, only 3 items, a maximum of 3. Stark's line here about a ridiculous and fun journey come into focus a little bit more in the second half of the episode when we learn what his actual motivation motivation is regarding this adventure. We want a ridiculous and fun journey because I liked hearing about Eisen's ridiculous and fun journey, and I want to repay that favor by telling him stories likewise. Still, like a couple of days ago when I recorded this, I could still really use some shaved ice. I think that sounds really good. Eisen is initially a little bit, I guess, business first. He's like, hey, why are we distracting ourselves with this stuff? This isn't really pushing us forward. And then Himmel's the one that, it's fun to take breaks sometimes and have a little bit of fun. Because again, these fun little moments here are going to be the ones we remember in the end. We get a little bit of lore here. The Hero of the South. Let's see this full name. The Hero of the South, said to be humanity's strongest fighter, was defeated by the Demon King's 7 Sages of Destruction. Okay. We're keeping it in the back pocket, I guess. This may come up later. Again, Eisen talking about, humanity's greatest warrior dying, right? What chance do we have? This is going to be a difficult and painful journey. Well, why does it have to be? Why can't it be a little bit of fun sometimes? And yeah, it's a ridiculous and fun journey about, shaved ice and looking for syrup and that kind of thing. And I guess that's what attracts Stark to it, right? It isn't perilous. It's about the journey and not the destination, and that old adage, and everything else in between, right? Again, these are the parts, he's heard the story from Eisen, right? These are the parts that he's focusing on because these are the parts that he enjoyed the most. That's the parts that he wants to experience himself. The ridiculous stuff. The doing all of this for a spell to see through clothes. I think that on some level appeals to Stark. We get a nice closed loop on the Stark village stuff here as well. Just some congratulations and final goodbyes. And this is the gag to end this segment, I guess. We finally get that book that could see through clothes. Frieren's, I guess, see-through closeness isn't very appealing. Looks over to Stark and says that it's small. She could be joking, she could not be joking. I honestly can't tell anymore. But I mean, you looked there. I don't know. Is that anything? Is this anything? I don't know. Maybe I'm just a ship lord. We end that segment and head off to the fortress city of Wall, which is a pretty on-the-nose name, I guess. Still located in the Regal Canyon, where we have been for the previous couple of skits as well. This is where we see Mr. Berserk, and he's, in front of the gate, and he's not letting anybody through. Again, as I said during the reaction, I'm just saying Berserk because I think he looks like Berserk. There's no actual Berserk knowledge within me that could tell you if this is Berserk or not. But he sure fucking looks like it. I don't know. That's a Berserk looking bloke. Either way, more pertinently, they're not letting anybody through. There's monsters in, that part of the mountain pass. We're not letting anybody through this area for the time being. This gives Frieren a chance to shop. She's going to take that chance whenever she can get it. I'll say it's interesting as well that one of the other guards called the first guard over to see the Castellan or whatever the fuck. And that's the guy we see later on that knows of Frieren and lets them through and throws a big old parade. So it's fun to see the machinations of that side of the plot in action pretty early. So Frieren here praises the guard's work as well, and towards the end of the episode the guard is shameful because he thinks that he slighted Frieren or something, and no, I actually thought you did a good job. I wasn't, you weren't too mean to me, So Frieren's gonna go off and shop and stuff and blah, 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 blah. Gets this unimpressed look from Fern as a result. Frieren can already feel Fern judging her, which is funny as well. We're gonna go get a room at the inn and do all that thing. I've seen this song and dance before. We're going to be here for a couple of months at least. Want to get something to eat, and then just the side eye. Absolutely no chance of this happening. You're pissed off at the current circumstances. You want to get on the move. Fern here overhears that the checkpoints are going to take at least 2 years to open again. Business is at a standstill. They're not even letting people escape by sea. Stark, not understanding the severity of this situation, goes off and has a berry dessert of some kind. He doesn't remember it being this small when he got it in the past. Turns out he's grown. I wonder if that's part of his character arc, I guess. Understanding that he's not that boy anymore and transitioning into adulthood. I don't know. It didn't used to be this small. Well, tough luck. It always has been. You've just gotten bigger. Even Eisen's back that at one point looked so broad now looks small in comparison, right? Which is harsh because he's like a dwarf, but I understand the sentiment. Fern here interrupts, spreading the news of the 2-year wait on movement to Stark here. She also asks for a glass of milk. Again, I thought that this was a bar, but this guy's getting a fucking ice cream something as well. So maybe this is just a dessert joint that looks like a bar. I guess it wouldn't look like a fucking Dunkin' Donuts in here, considering it's like the Middle Ages or whatever. But like, I just thought it was funny that she sat down at a bar and asked for a glass of milk. I think that's always just humorous. Either way, there's a really bouncy tone to the music here. It's a pretty light scene, and you know, do you want to be here for the next 2 years? No, I don't. And then super aggressive from Fern, knowing what's actually at stake here. Yeah, Fern's relieved that there's another normal person that understands the passage of time the way that humans intuit it. So these two are going to stick together for a bit and look for ways of escape past the gate without actually using the gate. Could we get over the top? Apparently there's some kind of barrier protecting that method. And then, as we like to do with Frieren, we get a musical montage here. Again, a jaunty pirate-esque tune as we go about the merchants and try to figure out if there's a way out on a merchant ship or something. Or through some other trade route as well, probably a horse and carriage and that kind of thing. We're not giving up though, we're going to hit up the black market and the Thieves Guild as well. Yeah, there's something, right? So they're going to hit up the Thieves Guild, isn't that dangerous? We'll be fine, people think I look pretty strong, and I'm a decent bluffer. You do have the face of a scoundrel. I don't know, chat. Chat, tell me if I'm being crazy on this one. Yeah, little smile too. Yo, we're full ship, by the way. We're you know, I'm the captain right now. Either way, it doesn't look like from the montage that this bared any significant fruit either. Either way, Stark is unperturbed. He's going to look for, you know, the next guard station to see if he can weasel his way through there. Fern remarks to herself that he's being especially cooperative with this, and maybe they're kindred spirits and they want to continue this journey as quickly as possible. Yeah, Stark doesn't have a lot of time, and we elaborate here, right? When I was little, my master brought me here, right? Isn't the view amazing? We departed for the northern lands from this city, and when we were in this location before, in this pretty much exact same spot, arm around me, he told me many of the journeys from when Frieren and co. started their journey way back in the day from this same location. Focus in on the arm, a little bit of strength there. That's some nice fatherly stuff, I guess. We haven't really got pure backstory yet. I wonder what your family situation's like, Stark. I guess we're going to have to see. Well, I mean, we kind of did. It was pretty similar to what I'm imagining Eisen's is, where he ran away from his family, right? I think that was the implication from the previous episode. Nothing was more important to Eisen than that 10-year journey. I'm sure the same is for Frieren. And then Fern's like, I wonder. Yeah, I guess we're still trying to figure that out, right? She's still in kind of that flux state where she doesn't know. So yeah, I need to experience a ridiculous and fun adventure and bring back stories to tell him, return that favor from the stories that, you know, captured my imagination in my youth. This is all I can do to repay my debt to him. If I take too long, my master will die. Putting a time limit on this shit too. Or maybe if Eisen does die, you can meet him at Oriole or whatever and talk to him there. Maybe that'll be a nice emotional moment when we get there as well. Very funny scene here where Frieren is trying to like escape and hiding behind a book. This isn't how hiding works, by the way. Frieren is under the, I guess, false pretense that she's being pursued. Well, I guess she is being pursued just for different reasons than she thinks. And it's not what we expect. She's being pursued because we want to apologize to her, basically. I like how uncomfortable this makes Frieren as well, right? I don't like where this is going. Here it is, the Castellan of this city. I offer my apologies. This guy probably knows Frieren somehow from way back in the day. Again, this animation here is fantastic. Just she hates being in this kind of situation, man. Like any kind of fuss being made over her, she would rather just keep to herself and not be the center of attention. Currently engaged in endless conflict against the rest of the Demon King's forces? Is that what we said? Yeah, remnants of the Demon King's forces. That's a bit interesting. I thought we you know, nip that in the bud. I don't know. Weird. Wonder. I'm just trying to look for some kind of big bad on the horizon. Maybe there will be another demon king of some kind. I seem to remember some other evil-looking character in the opening, so just keeping an eye on it. We've been granted free passage through this city. I think maybe Frieren wanted to stay here a little bit longer and do her shopping. Also, again, she hates being the center of attention. Like a parade or something. Yeah, Frieren wanted to take her time. She didn't see any point in telling the captain who she actually was, so she could get through quicker. Just wanted to vibe for a little bit. Hopefully Frieren's taking, again, a little bit more of that sunrise logic, right? Which is, hey, maybe Fern or Stark may enjoy this parade type stuff, so I'm doing it for them, and I guess, empathetically enjoying it through their enjoyment. And we're going to begin our journey north from the same checkpoint that Himmel the hero and the crew did from way back in the day. Continuing to follow their journey, this is almost their true journey start here. And yeah, as we kind of walk off into the sunset, that's the end of the episode, jumping into the ED swiftly after that. And yeah, that's episode 6. Again, probably really popped on a rewatch for me, with sleeping on the first 2 episodes a little bit and not doing it all in one go. Just letting all the concepts settle, having a different set of expectations going into this episode, just definitely sits better, I think. I'm really buying this Stark Fern thing. I think they've got a great connection already. I'm yet to see a true Frieren Stark connection. I've got Frieren Eisen connection and Stark being tangentially involved there, but nothing really directly between the two yet. I just like how Fern sees, I guess, somebody of a similar age and understanding of time than Frieren. So again, they're hitting it off. I think at least a little bit. I'm implying a little bit. But anyway, yeah, this is a really good stopping point as well, because there's nothing really sitting that we need to do. I reckon we're just going to get on a journey and start meeting some new characters and start doing some more little vignette things, right? I think we can bring in basically any concept we want from here. Now we've got our 3 main characters together. And yeah, enjoyment remains high in the show. It tells a good story, it's well animated, the music's really good. What else could you really want from a show like this, really? So yeah, we'll probably do maybe a couple more next week. We'll see how we go with rosters and that kind of thing at work. But I think the recording session on the Tuesday worked pretty well, because this video should be out relatively on time. And then leaving Girls and Panzer stuff for a little bit later in the week. But again, that's very inside baseball. I don't know if people want to hear all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're going to leave it there and just do some show stuff to finish. So if you like the video, consider liking the video. If you like the video and you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel. Comment below anything you thought about the episode, anything I could do to improve my presentation. Comment below. I'm doing follow for follow on Twitter, so follow me on Twitter if you'd like me to follow you back. And the Discord, join Discord, love Discord. And yeah, looking forward to more Frieren Beyond Journey's End next week. Very satisfied with what I saw today. And yeah, just keen for more, basically. And now just signing out. Thanks for watching. Cheerio. Have a good weekend, I guess, and everything else in between.